For Halloween, and speaking today is Commissioner of Police Mr. Michael DeSilva. So, sir, whenever you're ready.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Jennifer. Good afternoon, everyone. I called for the press conference today because it's that time of year where we advise the public on all of the proactive policing and all of the enforcement measures that we have in place for this weekend as we lead up to Halloween on Monday. But I thought it was important that I come out and make a public address because there's very likely to be some uncertainty out there in the community arising from the shooting that occurred in Warwick on Monday evening, and that was on the heels of 4 other shootings that were reported during the first week of October. So if you let me start with just a very brief update on where we are with the progress of some of those shootings. You may be aware that we arrested 3 men in connection with the shooting at the North Shore nightclub on the 8th of November. Now, 2 of those men, you will have read, have been subsequently charged and now are remanded in custody. I can report that yesterday we arrested 3 more people. 2 were arrested in connection with Monday's injury shooting, and 1 man was arrested in connection with the shooting incident at the South Roundabout on the 5th of October. That now brings the total number of arrests to 9 in connection with those 5 shooting incidents. It's too early right now to say whether any more of these men will be charged. That, of course, will come down to the strength of the evidence that we're able to put together, along with the decision from the DPP. But what I can say is that the 3 arrests yesterday resulted from tip-offs and information from members of the public. Immediately after Monday's shooting, we moved our mobile command vehicle to Warwick Post Office, and we had detectives and CAT officers walking the beat in the Warwick area, speaking to neighborhood residents and shopkeepers. And clearly our outreach to the community was worth the effort, and it has produced results. Now we hope that the evidence leads us to the conclusion of these cases. But in the meantime, I would like to continue our appeal to the entire community to contact the police if you have any information about any of the recent shootings, or any of the open investigations, or indeed if you have any information that you want to bring to our attention about gangs and guns. The Crime Stopper number, of course, is 800-8477, or you can contact us directly either by telephone or in person. Now that brings us up to Halloween, which falls on Monday this year, and it's preceded by a half-term holiday where many of the schools are out this week. That tends to make a bit of a recipe for a busy weekend of antisocial behavior, competing against normal social activities and traditional trick-or-treating on Monday night. Certainly I would wish to advise the public of the normal message we put out, which is the police will be out in full force, and we will act swiftly against those who try to spoil it for everyone else. Our operation has already commenced to double up on resources on the street, and we will run it into Tuesday morning. Extra officers are now on patrol, and officers will be riding along on the public buses, especially on Monday. The number 1 activity we wish to deter is throwing objects at the traffic. This is an inherently dangerous offense that has become a local tradition over the years, and I believe that we all need to work together to bring it to an end. Our experience tells us that the offenders are almost always teenagers, and that really compels me to send an extra message to parents this year. Please control your children so the police won't have to. We have already had a number of incidents in the week leading up to Halloween, and disturbingly, the most recent reports involve frozen eggs, and of course they have a higher potential for causing more serious damage and injury. It would really be nice to think that if parents kept an eye on their children this year, my officers wouldn't have to deal with this nuisance problem, and they could actually get on with the business of investigating serious crime. Finally, I would encourage anyone who usually celebrates Halloween to do so freely again this year. The best thing our community can do right now is come together, go about business in a normal manner, and demonstrate quite visibly that gangs do not run things around here. Additionally, there are numerous websites and newspapers that parents should look to for standard advice on the safety of trick-or-treaters. In the meantime, please have a safe and enjoyable weekend.
questions? Leanna?
Have there been any reports already thus far for frozen eggs being thrown on at vehicles or houses or anything?
Yeah, I don't have the exact numbers. It's probably somewhere between half a dozen or a dozen since last weekend. So, you know, on the one hand, that's normal in the lead up to Halloween, but on the other hand, I don't think the community should tolerate this anymore. And obviously what makes it more serious now is that the business of frozen eggs is the same as throwing, you know, bits of concrete at people. So it needs the community to put a stop to it before someone gets seriously injured.
That's a quick one. There's many events going on over the weekend. Do you guys have any hotspots that you'll be targeting, or will there be patrols online?
Yeah, the patrols are aware of all of the activities. I have to say none really leap off the page to us as being particularly dangerous. So what we'll be doing is employing all of the normal hotspots that you would expect. That's a really good point that you make, and thanks for bringing that up. It's important that I say to the public up front, please remember to be patient with us. You know that our search powers under the criminal code are quite broad, and we use them whenever there is violence or the potential for violence, so that we can actually catch people before the event. Unfortunately, when you set that net wide, you disturb lots of people that actually aren't involved in anything. And I've just asked the public for the continued patience that the exercise of our powers to stop and search is really for their safety.
In your preamble to the Halloween thing, you talked about a lot of arrests being made. In this latest spate of arrests, have any weapons been recovered?
Too early to get into the details of that just right now, because all of the investigations are live.
Okay, in your previous wide net during Halloween, have any weapons been recovered during those previous searches?
I don't have that at my fingertips, but I don't recall any firearms surfacing during Halloween, but certainly we have in the past come across caches of rocks and eggs. More seriously would be occasionally we find stockpiles of Molotov cocktails. That makes us a bit uneasy. And one of the jobs of the patrols throughout the weekend and particularly on Monday will be checking to see if there's any of those in the sort of usual suspect locations.
Okay, are there any further questions? No? Okay, thank you guys for coming today.
Thank you.